Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans face Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this is a must-win game for the Cardinals coming off of back-to-back losses. They had a heartbreaker against the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday Night Football, a game that they fought, clawed back into the adversity that they dealt with, being seemingly well out of their league against Seattle. But guess what? They're in a tie game, looking like that thing might be going to overtime, and then they give up the big completion to Jackson Smith and Jigba, and they see themselves after that kicking malpractice, don't kick the ball in the landing zone, they get the ball at the 40, and somehow find a way to lose that game. Now, the Tennessee Titans, this is a team with much different expectations compared to Arizona. They're really trying to see what they have in Cam Ward, get him as many reps as possible in meaningful situations. What I mean by that is trying to keep the flow of the game to a point where he's in important snaps in the fourth quarter, playing tight football games. And unfortunately, that was not what was possible against the Houston Texans in that divisional matchup. Now, Houston is the type of team that can get pressure with four. That's really, simply put, one of the most dangerous aspects of football. It's an ability to be able to just get pressure on the quarterback, and Cam Ward not being able to have time to throw when there's still 7 guys back in coverage. It's one of those things where there's Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, but also with the simulated pressure that they bring, they could, in some cases, have what looks like there'll be 5-6 guys coming, and then they're mixing it up on the offensive line. So a really tough matchup for Tennessee last week. I know that Houston was coming into that game not with a good record, clearly having struggled already early in the season, but Tennessee clearly wasn't quite up to the task there. And what can help you out, right, with a young quarterback is actually a bit of separation from your wide receivers, something that unfortunately has not happened a lot for Cam Ward. He hasn't just had open wide receivers to throw to and has not had a lot of time to throw the football. When you get 6 tackles for loss on a team like the Houston Texans, it puts you behind the chains. It puts you in unfavorable spots where you have to be in third down and you're not on schedule as much. That's something that they have to do better against Arizona. Look, in that game, Seattle was able to run the football. Kenneth Walker looked really good. Sam Darnold looked efficient. He didn't really look phased all that much until that fourth quarter where Arizona was able to get one stop and get the football back. Tennessee, they're just not good on third down. 2 of 11, that is not going to cut it. Even Houston was not great on third down. Didn't all matter that much because of the efficiency that CJ Stroud was playing with. It was hard for that ball to even hit the dirt at some time. So for Arizona, though, on that perspective, how do you attack that Tennessee defense? What are you looking to do? Well, you have to love Trey McBride. He clearly looks like the number one threat on this offense. A reliable guy that can't just be a threat over the middle, but you can split out wide, and he's a very good route runner where you can get open. He had a beautiful flag corner route in the game against Seattle, caught it by the sideline. I mean, he's so versatile. He's being a bigger factor in the red zone, and not just him, the developments and the continued roller coaster ride that is Marvin Harrison Jr. Man, that drop early in the game, and then you have the miscues. Him and Kyler are clearly not on the same page a couple of times. The drop that leads to the interception, but boy, did he respond in the fourth quarter when it mattered the most. A couple of great grabs, and the one in the end zone for the touchdown, 50-50 ball. That was the kid we saw for the Ohio State Buckeyes that was touted to be the best player in college football his junior season. Tennessee, they will have their hands full in that secondary with the responsibility of covering Marvin Harrison Jr. He's a tough guy. I mean, 6'3", 220 pounds, put all that weight on the offseason. Doesn't matter all that much, no matter what you do to better yourself and put yourself in better spots to win. If you're not able to catch the football, he's got to do a better job at that. But L'Jarius Sneed, expecting that to be the matchup for most of the day, that these two guys will be butting heads going against each other. Certainly going to be looking at that and how Arizona will be trying to attack them. It's clear that there is no threat at all catching the football except for McBride or Marvin Harrison. I mean, the next closest leading receiver on this team, I believe, is Trey Benson with like 60 receiving yards. So there's nobody else that's remotely catching the football. It's Harrison and it's McBride. And now why that is okay against Tennessee is because this is a team that doesn't have a great pass rush. Right? You're not going to be having Kyler having to get the ball out quick. And if they take away Marvin Harrison Jr., it's like, oh, we have to go to somewhere else on the outside, another vertical threat. When you have a great tight end, a top 5 tight end in Trey McBride, that allows you to be a lot more versatile, getting him the football over the middle of the field, looking for your matchups in the middle of that defense and getting him the football in seam routes, in quick outs, because he is truly right now your best receiver of the football until Marvin starts to prove himself a lot more, which I believe will come. I have a lot of faith that it will. Now, for Tennessee and their approach to that Arizona defense, which has been up and down, they were pretty good for the most part. They kept Arizona in that game after their offense was inept for 52 minutes of that game. They weren't able to get any sort of momentum on the offensive side of the football. So if I'm Tennessee, it kind of starts with Cam Ward. Look, you took Alec Manor out of Stanford because of his ability to win contested catchers. Calvin Ridley has been a seasoned veteran in the league. When are we going to see Calvin Ridley make a couple of big-time catches for his team going up against a relatively young defense? I say that except for Calais Campbell. This man has found the fountain of youth, 39 years old, and he's got 3 sacks on the season. No, he was a little bit banged up in that game, but still doing it at a high level. Unbelievable. It's like anyone could have this guy. He's a culture fit, still playing really well. A couple of injuries on the Arizona side of the ball, but I'm like, hey, look, we're 0-4. It's not like things can get much worse. This is an out-of-conference game. Let's try and air this thing out and attack Arizona. This is an opportunity for us to do a little bit of what Seattle was doing to the Cardinals throughout the day, where Sam Darnold was pretty efficient, 250 yards throwing the football, running the ball. They had a good amount of success, 4.5 yards a carry. Arizona actually ran the ball pretty good against Seattle, so I'd expect them to try and lean on that a little bit more. Kyler's legs are always a weapon. They were when they were getting back into the game. Trey Benson, he's showing himself to be that same kid he was at Florida State for that squad that went 13-0 a couple of years ago. So that's what we're looking at. Is I want to see Cam Ward sling it, and I want to see the balance from Arizona. Make sure that you don't make the mistake if you're Kyler. Keep this thing managed, and then look for your one-on-ones to Marvin. Look for McBride on your one-on-ones. That's the balance that comes. Getting Kyler outside of the pocket when you can, and then Tennessee being able to get Cam Ward just opportunities. Protect him, keep him upright, max protect if you need to, but allow your young quarterback to keep throwing the football down the field. I know that confidence is such a hot topic with young quarterbacks. We can't let our young quarterback lose confidence. Have you ever listened to Cam Ward talk? Have you ever, for a second, just looked at the guy's image overall, like what his brand is? He exudes confidence. If there's a player that is not going to lose confidence, I would come up with Cam Ward being that guy. He's been overlooked his entire life, pretty much until he wins the right to be the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft. He's still almost overlooked the entire process before that happens, and then he gets picked there. Like, this guy plays with a chip on his shoulder that's really not quite rivaled by just about anyone else. So we get to see the battle of a couple of number 1 overall pick quarterbacks, Kyler Murray versus Cam Ward. Different styles, but both of them have great arms, can sling it around. Expecting a lot of fun in this one. I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. I believe they win this game 24-17. Cam Ward plays well, keeps it close, has a turnover. Kyler Murray, he's able to have balanced, complementary football. The offense running it well. He's able to extend, get the ball to Marvin, a touchdown to him, McBride getting them involved, because I really don't see anyone establishing themselves as a number 3 wideout for this team. Arizona 24-17. Let me know down below who you think comes out with the win in this matchup. I'm certainly excited to hear from you. Let me know down below in the comments whether it be Tennessee or you think Arizona comes back in a major way to bounce back after the tough losses on field goals to San Francisco and then to Seattle. I appreciate you so much for watching. Please subscribe for more football videos in the future. At Blitz with Blender, I make NFL and college content every day. So fired up to have you here watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blender. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Blender. To the 40, 35, 30. Espinosa to the 20.